Hello YouTube, back once again with my film reviews, and tonight I saw the new summer blockbuster Terminator Genisys. Now, the plot of this movie, it starts off how essentially the plot, how the first plot of the first Terminator went. It starts with Jason Clarke playing as John Connor and Jay Courtney as Kyle Reese. They basically, humans are winning the war against the machines because of John Connor, and but so then as an act of desperation, they send a Terminator back to kill the young Sarah Connor, played by Game of Thrones Emilia Clarke in this movie. But what happens is, though, when Kyle Reese goes back in time to protect her from the Terminator, things are different. When he gets there, Sarah Connor is completely aware of everything that's going to happen and says there has been a change in the timeline. The Sarah that John knew and like what you thought you were going to come back to, basically the Sarah Connor of the first Terminator movie, that's not existed anymore. Like things have been completely changed in the timeline, and she also shows that she has now that she knows everything, or seems to know everything because of a Guardian Terminator played by the reprisal of Arnold Schwarzenegger, reprising his role from the first three movies, which is freaking awesome, seeing him as the Terminator again. But yeah, so, and that's basically the plot, and now that Sarah and Kyle are essentially aware, like, wait, so if we can completely screw with the past and make a completely new timeline, then theoretically we could do this with Skynet again, because how well that worked out in the end of the second movie. But so that's the plot. It's them trying to bring down Skynet again. Now, before I go into the good and bad of this movie, let me just say what I thought the past four Terminator movies. First two, with most people, they are two of the all-time action greats. On one of the great film debates on what's better, the first or second one. Personally, I prefer the second one, Judgment Day. I just enjoy it more, like how there's just more Arnold being fun in that movie. Then there was Terminator 3, which I do not hate as much as like as some people do. I'm like, yeah, it's completely pointless and it makes absolutely zero sense that this could happen. But as far as a fun, stupid action film goes, I thought it was a pretty fun, stupid time, the third one. Like, especially the scene when, like, Arnold's holding on the crane. I thought that was really fun and stupid, but, I thought just shut your brain off, it's a fun time. Terminator 4 Salvation, I thought that was the one I don't like. That was the first one I just didn't like. I was just like, I just thought it was a really boring, really over serious action film. Wasn't just too serious. Like, so that's what I thought of the past four. Now let's go into the good and bad. What I thought of this new one, Terminator Genisys. So first, let me just say this: I will give this movie credit. There is a reason they misspelled Genesis in this movie, and it's not just because they thought Genesis would look cooler in the title. You actually learn in this alternate timeline, like the technology that will become Skynet is now called like the Genesis program, and it's like an active piece of technology that anyone can buy. So, as a lot of companies do to make their products seem cooler, they misspelled Genesis. I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. I'll give it credit for doing that and just not being completely pointless. So first, just wanted to quickly say that I give the movie credit. But now let's get into the really great part of this movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger as a 67-year-old Terminator. My freaking God, did Arnold kick ass in this movie. Well, one, I'll give this movie credit. They actually do explain why Terminator looks so goddamn, why Arnold, well, at least Arnold looks old. They explain, like, yeah, basically the machine, like, won't essentially, like, die, but the human skin they put around the Terminator will eventually start, like, it will age if over time, like normal people. So and that's why he looks older, which I'll give credit. I thought there would just be no explanation. We're just supposed to run with it for the fact he looks older, but no, I'm actually glad they did throw in that explanation. I thought it was just nice to hear. But like I said, though, Arnold still kicks so much ass at age 67. Just how freaking awesome he was, just always looking completely reasonable, just punching through machines, just punching through people, just punching through cars, just holding a just by his one forearm, by one arm off the side of a bridge. Just Arnold was amazing in this movie from beginning to end. Then he could also be really funny in this movie. He could be really darkly hilarious with how intentionally awkward he was being, because like it's supposed to be Sarah, Amelia Clark, Sarah Connor is like has been trying to make him like come off as more human in this version of the timeline, since she's had been with him for quite some time in this version of the timeline. And yeah, no, just Arnold was very enjoyably awkward, just like doing really creepy awkward smiles like throughout the movie. I thought was a lot of fun. So Arnold, freaking amazing to see him again as the Terminator. Just just truly great. That Amelia Clark from Game of Thrones as Sarah Connor, she was a great replacement for what Linda Hamilton from the first two movies. She was great. She kicked ass, like Jesus did this one kick ass. It's just awesome seeing Dany from Game of Thrones, who essentially who is such a great power player, but like she mainly just does it through diplomatic ways, just a lot of speaking and building armies and using them to fight her battles. It's just cool seeing her, just Dany in the forefront, Dany from Game of Thrones in the forefront of the action, just kicking ass from beginning to end, just like consistently just shooting things. Never once, I don't think she's ever once really the damsel in distress in this movie. Like, she is like always protecting herself and just being great from beginning to end in this movie. Love that. She shared wonderful chemistry with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I would say that was definitely the highlight of the movie, was Arnold and Amelia Clark's chemistry with one another. They just always seem to be having so much fun with each other. Like, and I loved like how Amelia Clark like keeps trying to have like deep conversations with him, and like he just can't really say much because he's a robot that doesn't sound awkward, and that they have great moments of bickering. Like probably what I thought was like the funniest line in the movie is when they first get Kyle Reese, like when they first save him from a T-1000, and then like he's knocked down the back of the truck, and then Arnold's like, he is technically still alive right now. You could mate with him right now, and she's like, no, I'm not going to mate with him right now. I thought that was freaking hilarious. Not even like later on in the film, just like when they're getting ready to travel through time again, and they're just gearing up for it, and then or stripping their clothes off, to be more accurate. And then Arnold just like walks in like, did you mate with him? And she's like, no, I did not mate with him. I just thought these two were freaking hilarious with each other. They also got a lot of fun comedy out of the fact that Amelia Clark, she's a pretty short woman, Amelia Clark, and they actually had a lot of fun with it, just considering she's standing next to such a behemoth like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Dany was just so great. Amelia Clark as Sarah Connor was just so great in this movie from beginning to end. I'd love to see Amelia Clark as the leading player in more action films now, because I think she can be a great action star. She was just wonderful in this movie. So, I mean, like I said though, her and Arnold's chemistry were hands down for me the highlight of the movie. I loved watching those two together anytime they were on screen. Okay, Jason Clarke, John Connor, as the villain. Okay, fine, that's a spoiler. The trailer gave it away, so I don't feel regretful telling you that. Yes, as the villain Terminator in this movie, I thought he was a good. It was a good villain performance. Just he was good at just being threatening and always just seeming so charming, then so evil. And I'll give this movie credit, actually managed to come up with how to make a Terminator come up more threatening than the T-1000, because that was really the movie's problem with the third one, was like the new Terminator they sent back just didn't feel as threatening. It just didn't seem as powerful. Like this one's like really cool because like that's like these kind of like nanobots things like they like break apart. Like there's this really cool scene when he's fighting Arnold, and like basically like the nanobots just like keep like ripping in parts like off of him and like through him to hurt Arnold. Like that was really cool looking. Like so he was I'll give this me credit. Came out with the new Terminator that was came off as more threatening than the T-1000. So that was great. Matt Smith from Doctor Who. He has a tiny role in this movie as essentially the head of Skynet. All I can say was for all, it was actually pretty memorable in this movie. Just not much to say, but just a fun little villain performance from him. Just coming off as such a great mustache twirling villain every time he was on screen. I really liked it. my only thought that when he first showed was like, is that Matt Smith? Like that, but I thought he was a lot of fun as quick cameo. The special effects in this movie were actually really good from beginning to end. Like, especially the number one special effect was when it's like the special effect of creating like Arnold Schwarzenegger from the first two Terminator movies was freaking amazing. Like, I honestly did believe for a second. I was like, wow, that does look exactly like there's a real younger Arnold Schwarzenegger standing there for a moment. So like, special effects were great, especially that one. I was like, wow, I thought that was a pretty mind-blowing special effect, just how well they created like a CGI young Arnold, because it did look actually pretty real. It was pretty great. So yeah, special effects were really good. I'll give this movie credit. It actually tried to make time travel make somewhat sense, because this, let's face it, guys, this franchise, when it comes to time travel aspect, doesn't really make that much sense. Like, even going back to the first movie, when it turned out, just kind of starting with like, it turns out Kyle Reese is John's dad, and then there's the whole fact, like, at the end of the second one, like, wait, if they stopped Judgment Day, then how will Kyle Reese and Sarah hook up? Shouldn't John not exist anymore? And then, of course, the fact that they just, like, going to the third one, that they destroyed all the Terminator, all, like, Skynet, like, the origins of Skynet, like, all evidence of the Terminators, and there's still Skynet, and the third one, like, really makes doesn't make sense in the slightest. So, but I'll give this movie credit. It tries to make it make sense to a certain degree. Like, there's this whole plot line of how, like, the old Kyle Reese, like, has memories from, of warnings, like, of, like, how, or, like, messages of how they can stop Skynet from, like, his younger self in this alternate timeline. They're like, how does that make sense, really? And, like, they actually do go into, like, how they explain it, and, like, how Kyle Reese knows certain things that he shouldn't. Like, I'll give this movie credit. It did actually try to make it make sense. Also, like, there was a very great, kind of self-aware moment from Jason Clarke in this movie, when he kind of admits, like, this doesn't make sense to a certain degree. Like, there's just a great line when, he's about to kill, like, try and kill, like, Amelia Clark and, like, Jay Courtney, and Amelia Clark's just like, but we haven't had you yet. Like, if you kill me, but you cannot exist. And he's just like, you know what? This time travel stuff doesn't really make sense. I'll take my chances with killing you. Yeah, no, I'll give this movie credit for trying to get into the time travel, how it makes sense to, or almost kind of admitting it doesn't make sense to a certain degree. And there were some fun callbacks to the earlier films in this movie. One is, it's in the trailer, like, Arnold just into Amelia Clark and all serious, I'll be back. Like, that was great. Just seeing Arnold say that once again, a 67-year-old Arnold saying that was freaking awesome. And there was also a nice thing, like, you basically learned that in this version of the timeline that Amelia Clark first met Arnold, like, when she was, like, a 9-year-old girl, and when she was just, like, a 9-year-old kid, and he saved her from, like, a T-1000, and that killed her family. And, like, my favorite thing, though, is, like, when the young Sarah, like, first sees Arnold, he's wearing, like, the classic Terminator gear, like, the leather jacket, the black sunglasses. That made me laugh to myself. Like, I thought that was pretty funny. So, yeah, that's the good. Now, what's the bad with this movie? Because I've only been saying good things, quite enthusiastic, and this movie has not been getting the best reviews, and there's good reasons why. So, first, the bad, the action in this movie, huge issue for any huge major cardinal sin for any action movie. The action was really dull in this movie. It's not bad. It's not like it's non-stop shaking cam so it gets nauseating. It's just really boring action. Like, you just don't find yourself caring. Like, it just feels very soulless. That's the only best way I can describe it. It just feels soulless from beginning to end, and you're just like, yeah, that's not that good. Like, this movie just needed more, it needed just more of a sense of fun and adventure. Like, that's what was missing, like, from the action. There's just no sense of, like, that fun adventure, like, or, like, it didn't do anything, like, really great, like, the Terminator 2, especially, like, that had fantastic action from beginning to end. Like, because, like, come on, that movie had, like, the insane scene, like, when a helicopter starts trying to gun down Arnold, and, like, pulls up his suit and just shoots him. This, like, it needed something, like, really fun and insane like that. J.K. Simmons, he's in this movie. And he's completely pointless. I don't know what J.K. Simmons is doing in this. Like, his role is, you could cut him out of the script so easily, and it would not detract the slightest. It would not change the plot in any way. Like, you're just like, what is J.K. Simmons doing in this? Because it's not like it's a bit part. He keeps showing up there in the movie. I'm just like, why? He never really does anything he doesn't really do anything important in this movie. So I'm just like, why is he here, J.K. Simmons? Like, my only guess is the director had just watched Whiplash when he was casting this one and running through casting, and he just wanted a way to get J.K. Simmons in there. I know I sound like I'm trying to make a joke here, but I'm not, because I can't think of any other reason why J.K. Simmons is in this movie, because he's completely pointless. Like, no point in the slightest. So yeah. Oh, and now we're going down to the big issues of the other really big issues of the film, because, one, there was not nearly enough Arnold Schwarzenegger and Billy Clark with each other. They barely have screen time with each other. They have a few fun, quick scenes with each other, the rest, not really. Like, they're barely with each other, and it's just so shame, because the movie really comes alive when those two are with each other, but I mean, it even feels like the trailers and poster was trying to just lie to you to a bit, because, like, in, like, the poster, like, it just shows, like, Amelia Clark, like, standing next to Arnold, like, and, like, you just think, like, oh, this is gonna be, like, a really fun action movie between these two. They're really not with each other that much in this movie. You're just like, damn, I wanted to see more of these two together. They're not in it that much with each other that much in this movie. This movie has really bad, really bad pacing issues from beginning to end. First, it takes way too long for Arnold Schwarzenegger and Amelia Clark to show up. I mean, I think, you're, 30 minutes in by the time they first show up. I mean, you're literally just watching the opening when it's just a really long explanation for how Kyle Reese goes back in time, and you're just like, I don't care, I know how this goes at this point. Please just get to Amelia Clark and Arnold Schwarzenegger. That is why I'm here. That is the only reason I'm here. I just want to see the Mother of Dragons and a 67-year-old Terminator kicking ass with each other, and it just takes way too long for them to show up. I'm just like, God damn it. God, another example, the Arnold versus, the current day Arnold Schwarzenegger versus the young CGI Arnold Schwarzenegger, going out the trailer, you think this would be, this really huge, fuck yeah moment in the movie, but it's not. Well, that's the first time they show up Arnold and Amelia Clark. Amelia Clark, she kind of shows up. You don't see her, you just hear her in in that scene, and it's just so quick and just feels so pointless and so just wide that I'm just like, wow, you just somehow managed to ruin what should have been easily one of the coolest, most memorable parts of the movie. Well done, director. Good job. But it's kind of shocking how lame it is when those two fight it out with each other. That another huge issue. They're really. Okay, at first, it's kind of cool, when, he goes back in time and, they realize, oh, wait, the timeline's been changed. But the thing is, they really don't have a goal or a villain, and I mean by that the villain as John Connor, until, an hour into the movie, and I'm just like, wow, you're taking way too long to get their movie. Yeah, you need to be shorter. You needed to establish the point of this movie way faster. And there's even just some plot lines that just repeat themselves. They're arrested and thrown in prison twice in this movie, and the second time it felt stupid and pointless the first time. The second time I was like, okay, why are you doing this? Why are you padding this movie out? There is no point to pad this movie out. I just want this movie to end already. So that was horrible. But here we are. Number one issue with this movie. Number one, the one that really hurts this movie from beginning to end, and that is Jay Courtney as Kyle Reese. It's not his performance. Well, it's how he's written in this movie. He is way too serious, has no charisma in this film. He gets one joke near the end, and it's kind of the last line when he just kind of makes fun of how kind of creepy Arnold Schwarzenegger looks, and that was funny. That was a fun scene, charisma. That's it though. The rest he's just always super serious, like, no, no, I need to learn make this a really dark and serious like action movie. Like and it's just so annoying. Like that you can't help but feel he's taking away time from Emilia Clarke and Arnold Schwarzenegger with each other. Like because basically like he's the one mainly talking with Emilia Clarke in this movie. I'm just like, no, god damn it, just let it be. Just let it be Emilia Clarke and Arnold Schwarzenegger. It even sorry. It even comes off that the I don't know, the director, some executive producer, I don't know, like the executive marketing team, like knew that everyone like that all the Kyle Reese scenes sucked, so like they basically just try to market. Oh look, it's Emilia Clarke and Arnold Schwarzenegger on the poster. No, Kyle Reese. No, don't worry, he's not in that much. He is essentially, when you get down to it, he's kind of is the main character of this movie. And like I think he got some horror lines than both Arnold Schwarzenegger and Emilia Clarke in this movie. I'm just like, god damn it. And he's just not fun. There's no charisma. He's not fun with the other actors. He's way too serious. I wanted him to die in the first 20 minutes of the movie. I cannot remember the last time I have watched an action film I wanted to see a character die. Well, not a villain, but like what's supposed to be a hero, just die as quickly as Kyle Reese did in this movie, because my god, did he piss the shit out of me in this film. I was just wanted him to die. I was like, you're doing a sequel reboot here, movie. You're changing the timeline. Why not just kill him in the first 20 minutes? And the movie, I think, would have been so much better if there was no Kyle Reese through it. But no, you had him like as essentially, like I said, the main character, and he just sucks. He is like I said, nowhere near as fun as Emilia Clarke and Arnold Schwarzenegger was in this movie. So just goddamn that, just that's terrible. So yeah. No, just for some quick side notes before I give this movie a score. I'll give this movie credit that it doesn't sequel too hard. Like, they basically essentially tie up all loose ends at the end of the movie. It's not like it ends like on a super cliffhanger. There's only one question they did not answer, and they're always like, oh, we could answer that if we made a sequel. We don't have to have that question answered, though. I'll also say I thought this movie was better than Salvation. Because like I said, like it had there was some parts of this movie I thought were legitimately great, and for final rating, I'm giving Terminator Terminator Genisys a very solid 2 out of 5. It is below average, but I will not say it's a bad movie like a lot of critics are making it out to be. It's not a bad movie. It's just a really disappointing one, because you just see all these flashes of brilliance that you're just saying like, wow, there could have been a really fun, really great action film in here somewhere. Because I was pulling this for this, I really wanted this movie to be good ever since I saw the first trailer. I just saw, oh my god, Emilia Clarke and Arnold Schwarzenegger teaming up. This looks like it could be so much fun. But no, but I will say this, like I'm not against the sequel for this movie. Like I feel like if they get a better script writer and better script writer, it could be a really fun sequel if they made a sequel to this film. But as it stands, below average. It's not a bad movie. It's kind of weird for me to say if should you go see this movie or not, because like I said, on the whole, it's not a good movie. It's not a bad movie. It's just not a good movie. On the whole, but there's parts of this movie that I did legitimately like and thought were really worth the price of admission seeing. So I guess if you want to just see those fun scenes with Emilia Clarke and Arnold Schwarzenegger with each other, if you're a big Game of Thrones fan or Terminator fan, I'd say, yeah, okay, go see it if you want. Actually, I may suggest just wait for rental. But, yeah. And for everyone else, I'd say, if you can, go see Mad Max instead. I don't know if you can still see in theaters. If you can, go see that over this movie, because my god, was Mad Max amazing. But that's all I gotta say about Terminator Genisys. YouTube, as always, please subscribe. I will see you next time. Okay, bye.